Hello there, welcome back. Listen, before we begin, I'd like to issue a formal apology for all of the sound problems that we've had in this series. I've been changing about from one mic to the other and it's just not been working at all. Anyway, I'm just back from the shops. I have a brand new microphone. This one is called a Blue Snowball. It's kind of a funny looking thing. And I'm giving this a try for the first time, so hopefully that's going to be the end of our audio problems. I do hope you can hear me, and let's crack on, okay? So, we are continuing with this category assign business, and what I'm going to do to begin is I'm going to improve this drop down. Now this works fine, it's nice, it shows us all of the subcategories, but you know something? In a real shop we could potentially have dozens and dozens of subcategories, and it won't take long until this all becomes very messy. So I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to open up store categories and I'm going to create a brand new function. I'll make this one private, hence the underscore, and I'll call it get all subcats for drop down. Okay? I'll leave a little note here and I'll just say this gets used on store cat assign. That'll do the job. Now I'm going to create a custom MySQL query. I'm going to say select all from store categories where parent cat ID does not equal 0, and then I'm going to say order by parent cat ID comma cat title. Okay, so that's going to be a custom query, and I'm just going to run that like that, the way we normally do this, and we're going to loop through for each query, loading up result as row. We're going to loop through and we're going to say subcategories. I'm making up an array here, right? So that's going to be row ID, and that's going to equal parent cat title, and then we'll do a greater than thing, and then we'll say this, let's see, something like, row cat title. That should do the job. Now obviously we need to clarify what the parent cat title is going to be, so I'm just going to say parent cat title equals this get cat title, and it's going to do that with row parent cat ID, and then we're going to return subcategories. Now just to make sure there's no errors, I'll add a little if not is set subcategories, then something like subcategories equals that. Okay, just, you know, so we don't get errors if there's no subcategories. But check this out, I'm now going to copy this here and I'm going to open up store cat assign, and you see this section here that we've been using, and it builds up a subcategories array. Well, I'm going to improve this and I'm going to say store categories get all subcats for drop down. So if we refresh the page now, you'll see that it shows you the parent cat title and then the subcategories all in alphabetical order, at least with the subcategories, they're in alphabetical order. This is so much nicer and it's going to be so much easier to manage, so I hope that that has been helpful. Next, let's process the form and we'll get this thing working, okay? So we are opening the update file, which is on store cat assign, and we're going to do just a few little tweaks here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm changing the form location to store cat assign submit. Okay, store cat assign submit, and then I'm saying, well, is there anything similar, you know, that we've used before that we can maybe use here? And I would say yes. I would say store item colors also has got a submit function, which is very similar to the kind of thing we're going to need. So I'm copying from store item colors and I'm copying that into store cat assign. So now I'm going to go through this submit function and do a few little tweaks and get it in shape. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this update ID variable, and I'm going to change it so that it says item ID, okay? Now I'm going to just run through and make sure everything's cool. We have some security, that's good, right? We have a submit variable, that's good. And then we have this thing called color. Now obviously we don't want that, so I'm going to just rename color to cat ID. Okay, that's the variable that gets posted from the drop down. Now look, there's some trim stuff going on here, but who cares? It's not doing any harm, right? Let's just move onwards. If submit equals finished, it goes to the store items create page. So that's good, I'm happy with that, okay? If submit is equivalent to submit, it attempts an insert, look at that, it's inserting, so that's good, right? All we really need to change is the flash message. So I'm going to say the item was successfully assigned to the category. Let's be very, very cool and we'll clarify what the category title is. So we'll say this load module store categories, and then I'll say cat title equals this store categories get cat title, and that's going to be for cat ID. So now I'll bring this up. The item was successfully assigned to the, and we'll say category, okay? And then it's going to redirect to store cat assign, and that's going to be that, okay? So let's give this a try. Now I'm going to give you a prediction here, folks. I predict that the thing's going to insert into the database. There won't be any problems, but I do predict that we're going to have some errors on this page. Okay, that's the prediction. So I'm going to assign this item to Gibson guitars, and we'll press submit. Okay, so you can see that we do have some errors on the page, but nevertheless, the item was assigned to the category. That's not good. Give me a second. Store categories, get cat title. Sorry about that. That would be cat title category. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Let's go for Jackson guitars. Submit. Okay, keep an eye on the flash data here. The item was successfully assigned to the Jackson guitars category, right? Now if we go to the database and we browse, we did 2 inserts there, and you can see that 2 inserts have appeared. That's kind of cool. I'm going to empty the table here, and we'll do that just one more time so that you can see that this does work. So we'll assign to Fender guitars. I'll hit submit. Now watch the flash data. The item was successfully assigned to Fender, and I'm going to browse, and look, we have 1 entry. So that's kind of cool. All we need to do now is clear up these errors, tidy up the page, and we're done. So let's do that. The first problem is it's looking for a thing called cat title here on line 63. So let's go to line 63, and as you can see, it's when we're getting an array of all the assigned categories, it's running into some problems here. So I'm going to fix that, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm heading back to store categories, and I'm going to create a function called get parent cat title update ID, right? And this is going to say data equals this. Is it fetch get, oh gee, one moment, I can't remember the name. Here we go. It's fetch data from DB. Okay, so I'm going to call fetch data from DB, and I'm going to say parent cat ID equals data parent cat ID. Remember, that's part of the data array, right? And then I'm going to say parent cat title equals this get cat title parent cat ID. Now of course we could have done that in just 2 lines, but I'm trying to make this look really easy here, okay? So there we go, and that's Kind of cool. Now, why on earth did I just make this function? The answer is because when I'm building up an array of the assigned categories, I want to know what the parent cat title is. And in this case, it equals store categories, get parent cat title, and we're doing that for, let me just have a look, we're doing that for row cat ID. Okay, and so what happens then is the assigned categories becomes parent cat title greater than cat title. Exactly the same vibe as we have on this drop down here. Okay, so let's hit refresh. Okay, something it doesn't like here, line 64. Of course, yep. We still don't have cat title. Okay, sorry about that. Cat title equals this. Store categories, get cat title, and that would be row cat ID. Oh, a stupid mistake. Okay, refresh. So there we go, we've managed to get rid of the first error. All we need to do is get this bottom section working and everything's going to be cool. We have a thing, undefined variable query, which is on line 72, right? And that's line 72 on this file here. So if we look at line 72, we can see that it's trying to loop through the existing results. If we open up store cat assign, and you can see that we've got a query variable up here, I'm just going to pass this into the data array. Data query equals query. So I'm going to save and refresh. And you can see that this page is starting to come to life. I'm going to change the top title there that says existing color options, and I'll say, let me just think what I'll say actually. Existing assigned categories, something like, how about assigned categories for this item, something like that. Okay, so I'm just changing that. Whoa, that was an interesting thing. Now it has an error because it's looking for a thing called color. Well, there's no surprise there. So we'll change this to category title. We're going to load up store categories. Load, I am so sorry, module store categories. And I'm going to say that the cat title equals this store categories get cat title, and it's going to do that for, now let me have a think here, it's going to do that for row cat ID. Okay, so this here could become the cat title like so if we hit refresh. Okay, so you'll see that this is coming together, but actually I think I'd like to have the parent category in here as well. So let's bring in the parent cat title. Parent cat title equals this store categories get parent cat title, and it's going to do that for row cat ID. Okay, so right here, in fact, let me just write it up here to make life easy. I'll call this long cat title equals parent cat title greater than, and then cat title like so. So that becomes long cat title. Hit refresh. Okay, so do you see how we've got a kind of longer title here with the parent category, then the subcategory? That's all pretty cool. So now it's just a case of changing this URL from store item colors to store cat assign. It's going to go to a delete function. This will be remarkably similar to the one that we used in store item colors. So I'm just going to copy that delete function. I'm going to paste it in like so. I'm going to change update. Update ID is fine. I'm just going to check it. So we do some site security. We get the item ID. We delete it. Everything is fine. And then we go to store cat assign. That should be that. Okay. So we're almost there. Look, we can remove the option. Okay. The option was successfully deleted. We can submit a new option. The item was successfully assigned to Fender guitars. Now, by the way, you should have it so that the item can be assigned to more than one category. When you think about it, that's how a real shop works. How many times have you gone into a shop and they've got a special offer section right at the front of the shop? Maybe there's a tin of beans and it's on offer. And then later on, like 100 meters, you see the same tin of beans appearing in the grocery department. So we want to be able to assign to more than one category. Okay, that's all very cool. Now, before we finish this video, there's just one more thing that we need to do, and that is we don't want the options appearing on the drop down if we have already selected we've already assigned the item to one of those options, right? Kind of makes sense. So what we need to do is go to the update function again, and you'll see that we have an array of all the subcategories, and then we have an array of all the assigned categories, okay? And then we have this little if not is set assigned then blah blah. It's probably completely useless, right? But I'm going to do a little else statement here, and this means that we already the item has been assigned. The item has been assigned to at least one category. Okay, I'll bring this up a bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little PHP function called array_diff. Okay, here it is here, array_diff. Okay, straight from the W3 Schools website. And what this array_diff does is it subtracts one array from another. Okay, that's the vibe. So I'm going to say remember we've got this subcategories, which is all the categories, right? So I'm going to say subcategories equals array_diff. Now the first array is going to be subcategories, and the second array is going to be assigned categories. Okay, so we are literally subtracting one array from the other. So I'm going to do that and then hit refresh over here, and with a little bit of luck you'll see that if we select a category, then it's no longer available in the drop down. Let's remove Fender. You'll see that Fender's now available. Okay, so that is store category assign. I hope this has been useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.